In November 2022, nothing was different. The news was bad, as usual. The economy was confusing, as usual. Twitter was on fire, as usual. And then a website appeared. No announcement, no Super Bowl ad, no celebrity endorsement, just a box, a text box, with a blinking cursor that said, type something. So people typed something, and it answered, like a person, like a very patient, very knowledgeable, slightly unnerving person who had read everything ever written and was available 24 hours a day and never once said, per my last email. To reach 1 million users, Netflix took 3.5 years, Instagram, 2.5 months, ChatGPT, 5 days. Within 2 months, 100 million. And the man who launched it?
I thought it would be interesting. It's just a low-key research preview.
Hey. What? Sam Altman, OpenAI, and the low-key research preview that accidentally broke the internet. Let's talk about Sam Altman, because Sam Altman deserves his own paragraph. Several, actually. Sam Altman became CEO of OpenAI in 2019. He had previously run Y Combinator, the startup accelerator that funded Airbnb, Dropbox, and Reddit. A man professionally comfortable with things going very large, very fast. And yet, when ChatGPT launched, Altman later admitted he did not expect what happened. He did not expect Google to declare a code red. He did not expect every school on Earth to rewrite its academic integrity policy overnight. He did not expect people to use it to write their wedding vows, fire their employees, explain their medical diagnoses, and then, in the same session, ask it if it was lonely. It was not lonely. It did not have feelings. It said so, thoughtfully, with appropriate nuance, which somehow made everything more unsettling. The launch announcement was almost casual. No press release, no exclamation mark, no fire emojis, no history has been made, just, we made a thing. Try it. 100 million people tried it. The 2017 paper nobody outside of AI read, which turns out to have been a mistake. To understand what Altman's team had actually built, we need to go back 5 years, to 2017, to a paper published by 8 researchers at Google. The paper was called Attention is All You Need, which sounds like the title of a self-help book written by someone who had never read a self-help book. It was not a self-help book. It was the most important AI research paper of the decade. Inside it was an architecture called the Transformer. Here's the problem it solved. Before Transformers, AI processed language the way a very anxious person reads a novel, one word at a time, left to right, desperately trying to remember what happened on page 1 by the time they reached page 10. By the end of a long sentence, the model had basically forgotten how it started, which made it bad at context, which made it bad at language, which made it bad at most things worth doing. The Transformer fixed this by doing something radical. Instead of reading one word at a time, it looked at all the words at once, and learned which ones to pay attention to. The word bank means something different next to river than next to loan. The Transformer noticed that, held the whole sentence in mind simultaneously, understood context the way humans do, naturally, before coffee. The paper was published. The AI community understood immediately what it meant. The rest of the world did not read it. The rest of the world was busy with other things. This was a mistake. GPT-1, GPT-2, GPT-3. The increasingly alarming sequels nobody was watching. OpenAI had been founded in 2015, non-profit, backed by big names in tech. Mission: build artificial general intelligence that benefits all of humanity, which is either the most noble goal in the history of technology or the kind of sentence you say right before something goes very wrong, possibly both. They read the Transformer paper. They got to work. In 2018, GPT-1, a language model built on the Transformer. It could generate coherent text. The AI community was impressed. The general public had no idea it existed. In 2019, GPT-2, much bigger, much better. So good that OpenAI initially refused to release it publicly. They said it was too dangerous, too capable of generating convincing misinformation at scale. The internet said this was the greatest marketing move in AI history. OpenAI disagreed. The internet was probably right. In 2020, GPT-3, 175 billion parameters, trained on a significant portion of the internet, could write essays, code, poetry, legal documents, and jokes that were almost funny. Researchers who used it described feeling genuinely unsettled, not because it was perfect, because it was close enough. Close enough to make you stop mid-sentence, stare at the screen, and quietly close the laptop. GPT-3 was available to developers, not to regular people. Not yet. OpenAI kept building. The world kept not paying attention. RLHF, the boring acronym behind the unnervingly human chatbot. Here's the thing that made ChatGPT feel different from everything before it. It wasn't just smarter, it was conversational. Previous AI felt like a search engine. Type a query, get a result, sort through it yourself. ChatGPT felt like talking to someone. You said what you needed, it responded. You pushed back, it adjusted. You went on a tangent, it followed. This required something called RLHF, reinforcement learning from human feedback. Here's how it worked. OpenAI hired human trainers, real people, who read the model's outputs and rated them. This answer, helpful. This answer, harmful. This answer, sounds like a person. This answer, sounds like a broken appliance trying to apologize. The model learned from those ratings, adjusted, got better at sounding like someone you actually wanted to talk to. Patient, clear, non-judgmental, never sighing, never checking its phone, never saying, "That's a great question," and then not answering it. It was, in short, better at conversation than most people are, which is either a triumph of engineering or an indictment of people, probably both. The 5 days that changed everything, measured in things people typed into a box. 5 days, 1 million users. Here is a partial list of things people asked ChatGPT to do in the first weeks. Write their resignation letter. Write their boss's resignation letter. Explain a medical diagnosis in plain English. Write a college essay in under 3 minutes. Then ask if that was cheating. Then ask it to argue that it wasn't cheating. People asked it if it was conscious. People asked it if it was lonely. People asked it to write a breakup text. Then an apology for the breakup text. Then an analysis of why the relationship failed. ChatGPT handled all of it, calmly, without judgment, without asking for anything in return. Lawyers reported billing clients for hours spent arguing about whether AI-generated documents were legal. Teachers reported students submitting work that was grammatically perfect and spiritually empty. A manager asked it to write a meeting agenda. ChatGPT wrote a better agenda than the manager had ever written. The manager stared at the screen for a very long time.
This is fine.
For 70 years, AI had been a promise, always 20 years away, always impressive in the lab, always not quite ready for the world. And then it was ready. Not with a press conference, not with a keynote, with a text box and a blinking cursor. Artificial intelligence didn't slowly enter our lives. It didn't knock. It didn't send a calendar invite. One day, it simply appeared, on everyone's screen, at the same time, everywhere. And the question that had lived quietly in research papers and conference rooms for decades was suddenly everyone's question. Out loud, at dinner tables, in offices, in schools. What does this mean for us? That question, the big one, the uncomfortable one, had been on the mind of one man for a very long time. Not Sam Altman, someone older. A British-Canadian scientist who had spent his entire career building the foundations of everything we just described. Neural networks, deep learning, the very thing that made ChatGPT possible. He had just quit his job at Google to warn the world about what he had helped create. We should probably hear what he has to say.